just separated in many views. So it's a kind of separation. If our view, we can have, let's say, a section that could be a section that could be a menu section, then the main content section, something like that. So we can separate into um, parts our view by creating many additional views to it. So it's a way just to separate the user interface, but also not only is used like, okay, exclusively with user interface. So here I will add the VR. It's not only used like this. A view could be also referentiate a model. So we can add a model. If we see here the parameter that we can pass also a model. So we can use the same concept as a view in general in a partial view. So we can define a model, add model, and then define the model that could be managed inside our view. So and then pass the model when we use the view. So I can create like a model just to show that. Add. Okay, I need to stop it. Always this one. Model. Add new item. Class. Let's say user. And then I can create like name. Create like I will say okay, just name. So in here, if I had my model user, I can define the model in my view, my partial view. So it's going to be mbc.models dot user, and I can put like add model dot name user with name with the user has been logged into the application. So here I can specify a model inside our view. So in order to use with that model, we need to pass over here the model. So I can define like new user. Maybe need to add a using statement here for models. I will say name. So if I run this, obviously it's a trivial example. I click here, click on about. So it will, the user card has been logged into the application. So it's able to use our model in order to present the information that we need for this partial view. So it could be injected anywhere in our views, and we have two ways of use a partial view. You have this syntax, render partial, but also you have partial. There are two ways to do the same thing. I can specify the same thing. Say like that. So if I run this again, yes. Okay, the render partial returns void. So it doesn't return anything, just do the rendering directly. And this partial is just rendering the partial view. As you can see here, you see that first it was the render partial use, and then this is the partial method that has been used. And it's doing the same thing, just I pass another model in order to just use this partial view. Do you have any questions about partial views?
Yes, what's the difference between partial and render partial? I didn't get it.
Okay, the render partial by default it will write directly it will write directly the output, but it will return void. Here, if we see the definition of the render partial, it returns void. Okay, so when I try just to use it, because in this view, everything that is going to be used like this, the add sign is like a text that we need to just write it into the HTML. But in here, if I use it directly like this, it's not going to return any content because it's void. But itself, if I just call it, it's going to render but not returning anything. This renders directly. Instead here, this returns the value to be rendered to the view. So one renders directly and the other just return the value of the content of this partial view to be rendered for the entire view.
But it looks like it's both. They're both returning
Yes,
in your output.
yes, it looks like that both are returning, but the thing is that one difference is that here the render partial, because it's returning void, is executing the rendering itself. Instead, this one, because it returns the object MVC HTML string, this is not executing the rendering, it's waiting to the view to be rendered and execute that part. This is executing directly the rendering.
Okay,
Is
okay.
yes, that's the difference. But we don't even notice one or the other because both do the same thing, but it's just the way that they are doing is different. But the outcome is the same.
So there is no any advantage to use one or other.
No, there is no advantage. Both are interchangeable. I will prefer even to use partial, just partial, instead of a render partial, because here is a direct way to just use our partial view instead of just having like these three lines to be code. It's more
And there's
covers it.
next question: why we use curly braces? And the first one,
Yes,
what we
the
didn't.
first one we use curve braces because the problem is because this is a void method because the void method, if we don't use these curly braces, what will happen is that in the in the razor syntax, this is expecting a value to be returned to be rendered. But because this render partial doesn't return anything, it has to be like inside curly braces to be executed in that moment. That's the difference. Because this is returning something to be rendered, it doesn't need anything, and this needs the curly braces because it doesn't return anything but needs to execute something without returning anything. Yes, that's the reason. I don't know if you get the idea about it.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, here you can, let's say, add some code, even int equals 0 or something like that. This is an execution, and something different is like, okay, I will return the variable directly with the at sign, let's say. It's different. Yes, different returning than executing something.
On line 1 and 2, it's returning something.
This 1 and 2, no, because here is an special syntax that is just to do the reference of our library. So we just add using is not rendering anything, but it is just referentiating our libraries. Add using it won't render anything. It will be just referentiate libraries. In this case, a library that is in this namespace, MVC section.helpers or MVC section models. This is different. Is different from the usage directly of the at sign, because the at sign is expecting that this has to be like something to be output. But with using is different. Using is a different way that is treating this text, because it's like the imports for our classes.
Okay.
Yes, that's a slightly different. I will try to provide like the better example of HTML helper for the next session. And the next session, we are going to start doing some queries into the database and just do the scaffolding of our application. So with the next with the theory and the practice that we are going to do for the next session, you might be able to start doing the assignment that I will provide you for the next session. Obviously, I told you that the assignment is going to be due on Monday instead of Friday that I put, and but the the day for the exam, the first exam is still the same. I in the outline, I think the exam was the first exam assignment. Yes, the first no, the assignment. Okay, the exam is going to be on the ninth section. Yes. The only thing that I'm going to change for the is that the assignment is going to be due on next Monday, but the exam still remains the same day. Now we are on the session 5. Yes. So, do you have any questions about the course or the assignments or anything?
Where did you put the assignment?
Okay, I will post the assignment in the next session.
Okay.
Okay, so tomorrow,
Okay.
and then we're going to cover everything needed for the assignment.
Okay. Okay.
Then
So you haven't
tomorrow.
posted yet.
No, I haven't posted yet. So I will cover the data and the ISP.NET identity. So with both, you should be able to start the assignment, and you will return the assignment instead of the A session is going to be on Monday, because you're going to have more time on the weekend maybe. So
Isn't Monday the 8th session?
no. Let me the A session. No, the A session is not Monday. Sorry. It wasn't Monday. I, I just forgot. Yes, the A session is on Monday. Sorry. Let me just recap that, because we are on the fifth session, 6, 7, 8. Uh, yes. I just totally forgot the the days. Uh, yes, it's going to be on Monday, or maybe I will give you one more day, maybe on Tuesday, because you may want to adjust some things and everything. So I will give you one day more for the assignment to be posted, but the exam remains on the ninth session.
So it's Tuesday, the exam, not Monday.
No, not Monday.
Excuse me, could you
Yes.
just post the exam or the assignment date? Your first column is the date, not the session. Could you just switch to the exact date?
Okay, so instead
Yeah, that
I
would
can
be,
I can
yeah.
change it to the day, the exact day. Yes, I'm going to change it for you.
Thank
Or
you.
yes, I'm going to change it for you. But this is a PDF. I need to just um, change the Word file. I'm going to post the exact dates for every single session.
Thank you.
Okay. So any other question about?
And
Uh,
what we'll be doing on the exam? So will be the
what
quiz? No.
what do we cover mostly? Um, we will cover an example in the session 6. There is going to be like something that we will cover on the exam. So
The question was, it will be a quiz or a practice.
no, it's
You
going to be
exercise.
no, it's going to be a project. There is no quiz.
Oh, that is about exam one.
Yes, the
About
exam.
exam.
Yes, the exam is going to be a pro like a
So next
practical.
Tuesday. Yeah.
Yes, next Tuesday. It's going to be purely practical. There will be no quiz cover for that. Yes.
And the size of this exam, it's need hours or excuse me, or just
Yes.
like kind of 1 hour small things, small to build small things, let's say kind of form, doing calculation, doing or what, or bigger than this.
Uh, yes, for the first exam, it's going to be slightly bigger than we already covered until now. Because you are going to define, let's say, what we will cover on the session 6, which are access to the database, creating users, creating roles, then trying to manage like authorization to certain page, and it's pretty much that. So you're going to cover a ASP.NET identity and data, working with data in the in the exam. So it's a little bit bigger than the example that we already covered with the calculation. So, but I will say it will take at least a couple of hours to finish. It's not going to be like 1 hour. Yes, it's going to be a couple of hours to finish on time. But all the I'm going to cover an example of the an example in the next session that will be pretty much related to the exam, but it's not going to be the exam. It's going to be pretty related to the exam. So it's going.
Okay, but just consider that we are still slow, and
Yes,
we
yes, yes.
sometimes, even if something maybe it's simple, but sometimes stuck for a
Yes,
reason.
yes, yes,
And
yes.
for that, all the time, this kind of test with like time frame, it's yeah, sometimes just you will spend like maybe 40 minutes in something maybe silly, but since we are learning, yeah, just
Yes,
it's
yes,
something
yes,
silly, it's there. So
yes.
this is happened. So
But
this is my concern actually with kind of this test, because we are learning things, yeah,
yes,
and
yes. I
sometimes
understand.
like you have time to deliver, and just something maybe it's simple, but since you are still like super beginner, you missed something and will not work with you like till you find it. So you will spend like 1 hour just find this small things, and the
Yes.
time will be
Yes,
like
but nothing to worry about. Even if we are in the middle of exam, I will help you also along the way. If you are kind of stuck or something silly, I will say I will help you. It's not a problem for me. As long as you just trying to finish or do as much as you can to finish the exam is okay for me too. I will like you to cover most of the concepts that we just pass over the sessions. And if you are not able to finish, also it's not a problem. But I will help you in the exam. Nothing to worry about. But tomorrow we are going to cover most of those things that are going to be in the exam. So tomorrow and after tomorrow, I think are the main days for us to just cover pretty much everything that we need for the exam.
okay, thank you.
Yes. So far so good. If you have other questions, feel free to ask. Um, I think we are done for today. I will try to create another exercise for the part of data that we are going to cover for the exam. And with that, you should be good for the exam, and also good for the assignment, because the assignment is also ahead of you, so you can practice also with the assignment and what we are going to cover for the exam. So far so good. Have a nice day. I will see you tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. See you
Thank you.
tomorrow.
Bye. Have a nice day.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Okay. Bye.